A very good afternoon to you and welcome. It's been a while. Today I want to talk about a subject that I never envisaged talking to anyone about, particularly because it's never crossed my mind. It's never been a thing. Camera skins, or more particularly Leica MP camera skins. This is the old original Shark, I think it's called, camera skin, and for some reason I found that it was just losing its grip. I was a little bit in two minds. I didn't know whether it was my own hands changing with age or the skin itself just losing. I mean, it looked absolutely fine. It looks a bit battered now because I've wrenched the thing off and it's sort of bruised it a little bit. But up until then, it looked as fresh as a daisy. It looked absolutely fine, even though it was about 10 years old. And I went to my F3 and I thought, well, that feels fine. No problems there. But it's got the grip. It's got the finger grip here. So every camera's a little bit different, isn't it? I went to my beloved FE and that felt absolutely great. No problems at all. I've never encountered this. With the MP, it's kind of weird because it's a smaller form factor. It's a rangefinder. It's smaller, so it fits in the hand. So most of the purchase is through it being in both hands, without a doubt. But there's 10% of your fingertips in contact with the skin. And I was just noticing with the Shark, the original one, it just felt slippery. It didn't feel as though that 10% was there. It just felt like it had disappeared. So I thought, well, okay, let's investigate. Did the obligatory Google search, and initially I came across an American guy, really, really nice guy. He had about 4 or 5 different skins. I chatted with him about it, or emailed him, and something I couldn't quite. I was still working it out in my own mind. I was sort of hesitant, even though he was a really nice guy. I just wasn't sure. I was just hesitating for some reason, and I wasn't exactly sure what that reason was. And then I kind of stumbled on the idea or the thought of, is this actually leather? And I was looking at it, and I was thinking leather versus plastic might be a better way to go. And I wasn't sure whether this was leather or not, and I was looking at it from the back. Couldn't really tell. I mean, it doesn't look like a leather texture. It looks like a very fine sandpaper. And to be honest, I have to say I was reluctant to get rid of this because I really liked it. I liked the look of it. It was a little bit different to the normal skins that you get on cameras. It's a little bit like a very fine sandpaper, I suppose, that's lost that little texture that gives it that grip. So I was reluctant, very reluctant. I held out, but I went about 6 months with it, and I thought, there's something not quite right. It's lost something. I looked on the Leica website, and apparently they've changed the skins on the new MPs. If you buy a brand new one, these aren't on them anymore. They're a different texture. They're a little bit like these new ones that I'm going to show you here. Apologies if you want a sort of demonstration. There are a few of those around that you can look at. This is not about that. I wasn't prepared to attempt to do something for the first time ever with a camera stuck in front of my face. It was just too fiddly. And it would have taken ages because the cleanup once you've actually got the old skin off, you've got to prepare the surface, and yeah, who wants to hang around watching all of that? So yeah, hesitancy from the American guy, even though he's a lovely guy. I think sort of trades through eBay, what have you. My next port of call that I found, who I did end up purchasing from, was a Japanese company. I'd seen this on another vlog, a recommendation, and this guy, can't read the small writing, Aki Asahi, AKI stroke ASAHI. Now I went to this website, and he does a number of skins for all sorts of different cameras, and I was looking, and I thought this looks a little bit, yeah, it looks a little bit amateurish or something. Didn't quite trust it. Anyway, I paid by PayPal, and it was about 20 quid, I suppose, something like that. So I thought, yeah, it's not a huge amount to lose if things go pear-shaped. Ended up buying it, got an email straight back from him saying, yeah, I'll get it in the post today. It wasn't automated, so I thought, oh, he's pretty hands-on. That all looks good so far. And then about a week later, yeah, all good, it arrives. He gives you a practice skin. He puts that in as well as the proper one that you've ordered, as a sample to try to practice on. I thought that's a really nice touch. Free practice kit. He actually labels it as. I mean, who's to say you might like that? It just sort of looks like a lizard skin imprint. Obviously not real, but and then the actual skin that I ordered itself. Now, as I say, there was a bit of cleanup to do, getting the old shark skin off. It went on fine. I had no problems. It's not easy, but it did go on. I didn't need any tools to. It's the MP, so I didn't need any tools to get to undo self-timer levers or anything like that. Lucky in that respect. Went on, looked great, looked fantastic, but it didn't feel any better. Well, maybe it felt a fraction better. Probably did feel a fraction better to the shark, even though the shark was brilliant initially. I thought, I was a bit peeved, and hey, it is what it is. He's gone through with his obligation. It's all fitted. It fits perfectly. He's fulfilled his obligations. So, but then I thought, is this leather? And I thought, no, it's not leather. There's no way this is leather. If I'm not sure about the original shark skin not being leather, I don't mean literally shark skin. That's just a name that was attributed to it because it feels probably like a shark skin. And that got me thinking about Leica. Now, I wanted to avoid Leica if I possibly could. One, because of the expense, and two, because their after-sales service, in my opinion or in my experience, sucks. I mean, literally, it's... Well, let's not go there. So, anyway, I approached them, and they didn't have to send it back to Germany, so that was a plus point, because if it goes back to Germany, it seems to take ages and ages. months. And they do it on site, so to speak. Send the camera in and they'll do it. Price £200. Go in, take it in, or post it to them. £200 fitted. And I said, well, could I just buy the skin and fit it myself? No. So I was 20 quid to 200 quid. 10 times as much. So suddenly I remembered, it's £200, it's bound to be leather. So I asked them, is the shark skin, the original shark skin, leather? No. Is the new one that you're going to put on for £200 leather? No. So I thought, yeah, I'm not paying £200 for it to probably be no better than the Japanese version. So back to square one on the internet, and then I stumbled on a company I'd never heard of, but they were South Korean. And I thought, okay, it's going to be a while. It's going to take some time to get here. Are South Korea known for leathers? Anyway, the website looked really good and really professional. It's kind of a little bit South Korean-y, as you'd expect, but there's English there, and you can get an idea. Some of the English isn't quite right, but you get the gist. You can get the idea. And I emailed them a few times. Yes, genuine leather. And not only that, but you read on and you kind of go, wow, this stuff looks sumptuous. I mean, the pictures look amazing, absolutely amazing. And you read on and you realise they're not using South Korean leathers. They're sourcing them from England for saddle leathers. Apparently we make the best saddle leather in the world. Germany have fantastic tanneries. Italy, as we all know, make unbelievable leathers, or produce unbelievable leathers. Is it Tuscany, or I can't remember where, but I think Tuscany is one of the places. Vegetable leathers. And France are renowned for a certain kind of leather. I mean, you have to read up about it. I'm not an expert in leathers, but even to me, you can see that it's absolutely beautiful stuff. It really is top notch. And on top of that, they do, what was it, crocodile, and again, it's the best kind of crocodile skin going, and I think lizard or something. And not only that, but they do these amazing, beautiful colours. Now, there's no way in a million years I'm gonna ever put a colour skin on. But I thought if I was into that, I would absolutely be spoilt rotten, because they're just beautiful shades of colours. Again, it's according to taste, isn't it? But would I put? The key thing is to get grip. Okay, that's my number one priority. Then it comes down to, would you put a crocodile skin on a? I mean, I guess some people would, and they do look fabulous. I have to say that the colours they use, not only in the exotic leathers, but in the sort of more normal, even though very high quality leathers. Plenty of different colours. Have a look. The company is called Art de Mano. Sounds Italian, doesn't it? It's not. It's South Korean. But the key thing here, so they source the top quality leathers in the world, and everything is made by hand. And you can see that. and it suddenly reminded me of a YouTube video, I think it was, of a South Korean company. I needed a nice pair of walking boots, or I wanted a nice pair of walking boots, and I stumbled across this company, a younger guy and an older guy, maybe father and son, I'm not sure. And it took you from start to finish. But these boots, what they do is send you some sort of a mold that you stand on, and then the boot is made around these molds. So it's absolutely pinpoint perfect for your individual step and foot. I mean, talk about made to measure. And then these leathers again are absolutely sumptuous, and it's just I love stuff like that. Yeah, that fascinating start to finish. You just begin with the raw hide and this molded thing that you have, and then all the stitching, and it's it's fascinating. But boy, what a pair of boots, and that sort of made me think, yeah, this could work. You have to spend time choosing which leather you want. There are, the names. I presume, I don't know whether they are leather names, official leather names given to certain hides, or whether they're just names given to them to differentiate. That Art de Mano have actually allocated. I don't know. Shrunken calf, Dolaro, which is this one. All different characteristics. So I think the French ones or Italian ones, they do a very smooth one without any grain at all. Companies, Hermes use that leather. But they give you the sort of characteristics of it as well, which is really helpful. So that leather looks absolutely beautiful, as any Hermes leather does, the French company. But it's prone to marking with your, the oils from your fingers and what have you. But it individualizes the leather and the camera, I guess, in much the same way a black MP would, lose its paint and show the brass through. Do you like that kind of thing? Well, it's up to you, but they give you the different characteristics, which is really, really nice and helpful. It helps you choose. You choose your color, you choose the model of the camera that you want it for, and boom, it arrived. They say it takes between 3 and 5 weeks. Mine came after 3 weeks. And that's the company. That's the box it came in. They give you. I didn't ask for it, so wasn't an extra charge or anything. But it's like a plastic bone that's been molded or something, and it's just perfect for getting in between all the tiny little angles and gaps, and ensuring that it's all nicely tacked down. Not only that, so some companies will maybe give you a luxury material but put a rubbishy, sticky back to it. Not this company. No, absolutely not. I've actually tacked, where is it? I've tacked the old shark skin to it. It's 3M. It was, this skin ain't going anywhere. It really isn't. It's very, very strong indeed. When you see vlogs of people removing the old stuff that's 70, 80 years old or whatever, they're almost chiseling it off. It's really tough. And that was one of the good things about mine. Although you need some elbow grease to get it off, it doesn't chip off, so it doesn't take ages, forever and a day to remove. So that was lucky. It's only 10 years old, not 70 years old. The glue hasn't become hard and brittle, I suppose, is what happens eventually. But you can't get a better adhesive than that. Yeah, the only thing you've got to do, obviously, is line it up properly, because, yeah, but they show you how to do that as well. So you rip off a piece of this stuff and then just tack it to the side so you're not putting your fingers on it. Look at the video. It's in Korean, unfortunately, but if you watch it, you can get the gist of what's going on. And they're using one of these to and the thing I found really, really useful was a magnifier. Just whacked over your, like so. And then the initial stage on an MP is getting it over here first. That's your first, because it's the biggest lever. You've got to negotiate that first and foremost. And then once you've done that, you use the magnifier to really just get your alignment correct. And then the rest follows round. It's the first initial stages you have to get right. And if you can just, you're not forcing or stretching anything, not with this one anyway. You're just laying the first section down correctly. So keeping this loose around here, around the frame selector lever, and then working it to here, the rewind, small rewind section here, and if you kind of bang on there, and you can see with the magnifier that it's absolutely, not shoved up against, but just exactly against. The rest seems, you take your battery compartment door off, the rest just seems to follow perfectly. Around here, you sort of making sure no air bubbles, but you're not stretching it. It just works round, and then you get to each door here. Each end arrives at the plastic strip here, each side of the door, and you think, it's a little bit long. It's like 0.5 millimeter long or something. Perfect. So you just get this thing and score along it. Let me try and get some light on that. Just score along it, and it just flips underneath that ridge, so it's not getting wear and tear, and it's an absolute perfect fit. There are 3 strips, or 3 sections I should say: the main body strip, the back door section, as in the back door, and then the battery compartment itself, just a little disc. If I can angle it to the light, you can maybe see. Just probably can't see in this light, but anyway, it's just a little disc. And again, I use the magnifier because it's just so easy to get 0.5 mil off. With the magnifier, you can just see exactly where it needs to go, and then just slightly adjust to get it in exactly the right point, and then just firm it down with your thumb. And it's on good and proper. And yeah, just no problems. Just go carefully, go slowly, and I would have to say that looks absolutely beautiful. I mean, not necessarily better than the shark skin, just different maybe. But the key thing here is that I have that 10% back, and it feels great again. And I would imagine this is the Dollaro, Dollaro. I'm not saying that's the best, that's just the one I plumbed for. And I think I can forget about it now. I think it's good for the next 70 years. I really do. It feels exactly right. I'm not, I was going to say brave enough to put a crocodile skin on. Look, that kind of, I imagine crocodile skin is probably very grippy. It's probably really good in the hands. But as good as that, as fabulous as they look, there's something about me that just says that looks a little bit too bling for me, a little bit too, drawing attention to yourself. And I don't want to draw attention to myself whatsoever when I'm out taking photographs. Just want to blend in. I've said it before, being visible would be perfect for me. If that was possible. But yeah, no, I mean, I'm so happy with that. Now this costs, with taxes, because there are taxes to pay, and postage, well, I think it was about I've got the thing here actually. Have I got it? No. This is the Japanese one. So that one was $28.50. So around about the £21, £22 mark, I guess. Something like that. This one, all included, was about £180. Now, yes, expensive. No, it's not fitted like Leica will give you. But the thing is, it's leather. And it's not just leather. It's beautiful leather. It's exquisite leather. You've got to. I think that's one of the trickiest things to do, to choose correctly, because it's going to be on for the next 70 years. It's not the kind of thing that you swap and change all the time, is it? Because it just you can't do it in 5 minutes. It's not like a watch strap you could swap out or what have you. So this is, it gives all the matte, glossy hardness. It gives you all the details that you need. It's really helpful. It's really useful. As I said, I've never heard of this company before, but apparently, again from a different vlog, they supply Leica Miami in Florida. I'm not sure what Leica stores they supply. I think more specifically camera cases, if I'm right in thinking. But they do all sorts. They do they actually do bags, beautiful, £1,000 or $1,000 bags. But it looks every dollar $1,000. It actually looks like it's quite good value for the quality. You have to see it to believe it. It's unbelievable. They do straps, and I think they do wrist straps, obviously skins, and as I say, the cases, the half cases, but brilliantly designed so that it works with all the digital cameras. The battery compartments open in just exactly the right way. There are magnets involved or something, and they've got that absolutely bang on perfect. So it's the engineering is perfect. This is a perfect fit, but the colours, the choice is very dedicated and very special. It's not a fly-by company. I think it's a company reaching out, going international. Yes, they say you've got that weight. Understandably, if something's being made by hand, they probably have some reserve stock of some items. I would imagine they're bestsellers, but everything just looks sumptuous. It looks amazing. Beautifully engineered, beautiful colours, beautiful choice. You can fill your boots. It's not cheap, but it seems to be sort of quite good value, if that makes sense. For what it is, when you see how beautiful it looks, is 180. I mean, that I would say that is marginally on the pricey side, but I'm paying. So I think without taxes, I think it was $150 plus 30 for the Delaro. Delaro's just a bit more expensive. Like, I think the Crocodile is $80 more. So this was $180 without the taxes. Yeah, not cheap for a bit of leather. I mean, I don't think there's an awful lot of handmade to this. It's just going to be a metal stamp, isn't it? I would imagine. I don't know. Because they do them for all the different Leica cameras, or most, as far as I could see anyway, including the digital ones. So I don't know whether one is... I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, if they use sewing machines to stitching, is that handmade? In my mind it is, you know. But anyway, let's not fuss about little details. It is a handmade company. Art de Mano is art of the hand, I guess, isn't it? That is the company name. That's what they're priding themselves on. I'm going to be more than happy with that for the rest of my life. And hopefully the camera is going to be, you know, I think this is actually going to get better with age, you know. This has got a slight sheen to it, ever so slight. It's like a semi-sheen, I guess. I just think as it ages, it'll improve in terms of that sort of tactile, you know, grip or whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit new at the moment. It's only been on for a few days. But I just thought it might help in terms of, you know, if you're encountering the same thing, the same problem, or you just want a different skin, you know, different colour or whatever. That certainly seems to be a company worth considering, without a doubt. I think the only downsides would be the price and the weight. But as I say, I don't think it's bad value. If Leica are producing a plastic one for £200, I don't think that's, you know, yes, you have to fit it, but, you know, it's not rocket science. As long as you take your time and you do a little bit of research on how to do that, it's not difficult. I actually quite enjoyed it. I quite enjoyed doing it. It's, yeah. So yeah, Art de Mano. I'm not affiliated. I didn't get a commission or you know, any money off this at all. I paid full price. I'm actually looking for the receipt, but I'm not sure where. Oh, maybe that's the receipt. Is that the receipt? Let's have a look at that. It could be the receipt itself. No. Maybe it's in there. I'll have a look anyway, but you get the idea. And no, it's not in there. I should have the receipt somewhere. I definitely wouldn't have thrown it away. Anyway, I think I know where it is, but yeah, I'm not on commission, and I'm just saying as I find, and I think it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, it does look amazing, and this is one of the ones that is not particularly fancy in terms of you know, it's not crocodile or lizard or anything exotic, but I think that looks, you know, very subtly really, really special, and I think you can tell that it's leather, and I think you can tell that it's quality. And this, I think, is this is probably the most robust in terms of it's not going to show fingerprints. It's not going to scratch when you use this thing. I think the vegetable tan one, you have to be a little bit careful with this. You can use it, but just don't gouge into it because it can, yeah, it's a little bit more prone to scratching. But yeah, hopefully that's of interest to somebody. Just throwing it out there because, hey, it's part of owning a camera, part of photography, I guess. But as I say, not something that it even occurred to me. Camera skins, you know, that's not a thing, is it, that you ever really have to deal with, until I did, and then, hey. Hope you're all well. Best wishes to everyone out there, and thank you for the likes and all that kind of stuff. Cheers for now. See you for the next one.